That's a great point. And to try and bring together a lot of the things that we're doing today, since we started today with a legislative committee meeting, we're going to end today with a joint fiscal forecast meeting. I think that to go back to Vice Chair Smith's point, asking about the future, I'm going to offer an extremely optimistic take. But I think it's important, which is that this is a very, very important first step to solving a very intractable problem. And I'm not going to call out specific individuals, but I will say if you go back and watch the COG meeting where we actually endorsed the DMV Moves resolution, it was very funny because in one of the last comments before it was endorsed, someone from another jurisdiction said, well, wait a second, we're not even talking about the funding formulas and we pay more than they pay and I'm not sure that's fair. And then used a term about their budget, which then caused a certain person from a different jurisdiction to say, well, you're using that term about your budget, but it's apples and oranges to my budget. And I got to say that was the easiest vote I've ever had to endorse that resolution. Because the problem with Metro, the challenge we have always had, is pretty obvious. We use 3 different jurisdictions to pay for it, and the incentive of every politician around the table dealing with it is to try and spend as little money as possible, as little money of their taxpayer dollars as possible to make this work, which has created immeasurable challenges. The idea that we could bring all of those people together and at least come up with a number, this 460 million number, and agree on it is a Herculean task. And in fact, I think it is something that in a way represents the best of what government can do, because government is about solving collective action problems. And the irony here was we kind of solved a collective action problem that was a collective action problem among governments themselves. So to be way too pie in the sky optimistic for Vice Chair Smith, this is the type of building block that will get us to the future in which we have a metro station in Centerville someday. And I think that's really important. I think also to tie back to the things that we're talking about today, at the fiscal forecast meeting this afternoon, I went back and looked at the where it goes from our budget last year. And we had about a $65 million contribution to Metro and a $46 million contribution to other transit in the budget next year. And when you see our baselining for looking at the future at next year, you'll see on one of the slides that we have a placeholder of $24 million in an increase in transit funding for next year. Yet, we have a real opportunity here because the same people who are calling Jeff here every day from Richmond saying that they're going to work on something big are talking about trying to reduce that general fund number. They are not claiming that they can solve the problem and get us $100 million a year. Sorry, taxpayers, we can't go that far. But they are saying that by creating a dedicated funding stream, they think that we can cut into that number. And so I implore the other members of this board to talk to the members of the delegation and to fully endorse the efforts of SJ 28 to figure that out using this DMV Moves framework as a starting point. Anything else on this topic? Okay, great. Well, thank you, Mr. Mercer and Mr. Hill.